Hi and welcome to another episode, My Suzuki. What we're going to do today is we are going to take out all of the interior of this Purple Wild Wind. Reason for that is somebody came up to see it. We were halfway through the video of that you may have seen, and they drove 250 miles just to have a look, a little bit of a test drive, and they said yes, we would absolutely like to put a deposit in it. We'd like that car. Although we'd like a few extras, which are going to be a Pioneer head unit and a shark fin antenna. Now, to fit the head unit isn't a massive job. It's not a 2-minute job. It's not a huge job. Shark fin antenna, a little bit more involved because the whole pretty much of the interior has to come out, because the seats have to come out to take the side panels out. The side panels have to come out to take the upper panels out. The upper panels have to come out before we can drop the headlining and get access to the roof just to fit the shark fin antenna. But believe me, it's worth it, because the signal that it gives for DAB it's unparalleled. We used to put older ones in, when I say older ones, cheaper ones, which fitted to the A-pillar. You buried off the A-pillar, you put it onto the windscreen, and you grounded it to the A-pillar. It wasn't the best signal. It was, I think, from memory, it's about 2 decibels a gain, whereas the shark fin's 20. How this is going to pan out, I'm not quite sure. How well you're going to be able to see, I'm not quite sure. It probably help people who have never taken the interior out. It's not a massive job, but it's a procedural thing, and it's sometimes you want to take something out and it just feels like you're going to snap it. If you're taking it the wrong way, if you're pulling it the wrong way, you're thinking shalla shanta. Some things have to come out a certain way, some things have to come out in a certain order, some things have to come out in a certain direction. And if it's the first time, you can pull and pull and pull and pull, and you suddenly realise you missed the fixing, or you're pulling it the wrong way. So then you hear snap and it's like, oh, I wish I'd never done that. So if it helps anybody, great. If not, it's just something for you to watch. So it's probably going to go into time lapse and out, because it's going to be relatively long, and I'm going to be in the way a little bit. I've got the camera set up as best I can where I think is going to give the best shots of what we need to see, but I'm going to be in the way as well, and it's not going to be a pretty sight. But I'll try and keep talking. I'll try and keep narrating all the way through. So without, as they say, further ado, that's where we're working. So systematically, got a really nice load cover, Wild Wind branded load cover. I'm going to put a lot of this on the roof. Normally when we strip it out just to run wires or anything like that, we put it on the back of right at the back there. So we take a lot of the stuff out, put it there, put it straight back in. I'm putting it a little bit further forwards because we need to drill a hole in the roof. So here's a load levers, which just unclip at the bottom, and the Velcro comes off. This is something that you don't get in UK cars. So if you don't have a Japanese import, it won't have these fixings at the bottom and that bar at the top to clip everything into, unfortunately. Next thing, carpet. Again, Velcro down. Lovely condition underneath the carpet. We've got hardboard cover, never the prettiest. It's a piece of hardboard, obviously, with the winder for the jack on it. We're going to take out the scissor jack. and the toolkit. Never been used, but we'll put them on one side to put them back again. Okay, next thing I'm going to take out, which you won't see, I'm going to pop in the side door. I'm going to take out the bench seat, so we can get access to. There's a plastic trim here at the front and the back, where we've got 2 bolts that go through for this side and a bolt at that side, and then we can pop the rear seats out. Gives us a lot more to look at, a lot more space. Now, it's such a pain rearranging the camera. I'm just going to tell you how to do it. It's hand under one side and lift, hand under the other side and lift, and it's out just like that. Then we're going to go back in. Oops. This just snaps out. And this trim here hooks around the front of the plate for the seat. So unhook it, push it back, because if you can see it coming out there. So it's got to be the piece by the front seats for the front of the seats first, and then push out from the front. And if we lay it down, whoever had this before has put loads and loads of soundproofing on. Is it going to be an issue? Going to have to remember where it is. Put everything somewhere safe so you know where it is for retrieval later. Right, so a lot of these are 14 sockets. We've got 14 with a bit of an extension on just to reach over the seats, but we'll do them one at a time. So, you see that? Let's see one better. Yeah, so underneath that flap we've got one there, one here, stand it back up, reach around the front, into that corner, and it's off. And how this comes out, if you lean it back, it should just pop out like that. Same with the other side. Remember, collect any hardware that falls down. This side. Again, pop the clip out, and that's the other part of the seat out. Then you've got a huge expanse of space to work with there. Yeah, so this guy's putting a load of soundproofing, which is good. It's not going to be, it's all got to come out, all got to come out. 2 reasons. One, it's in the way. But 2, there's all little bits of dust under here. Find all sorts, absolutely all sorts. Nothing interesting this time. What we tend to do is brush it, a little hand brush, then hoover it out, then wipe it with some disinfectant. Only just so it'll smell nice, not because we think there's anything going on untoward. Okay, so next thing we're going to take off, we're going to undo the seat belt retainer, which is on the floor of the the vehicle. Again, it's another 14. Don't be careful with this if you're using one of these, because it can sometimes whip round, wrap up with a seatbelt. So just keep it nice and steady. Right, so we're going to take these side panels off, the plastic ones, the inner lower panels. They're going to come off before we start moving upwards. So this panel has to come off. It's got two push-in fasteners there, followed by one in the middle, and they use these a lot, where you push the middle bit in to release it and then pull it out, and then to reset it you push it right back to the top, and those lugs go in again. As they go in, you push it back in to secure it. And we'll put that in our little tray of don't lose these things. And then at each end we've got another one of these, exactly the same. So 2 push-ins and 3 clips. That should straight off. Oh. Which then leaves us another one at each side. Now you don't want to push these too hard, because they can go straight through. Hopefully there we go, 2 of them. Let's release these, put these somewhere safe so we don't lose them, which I do all the time. Got a couple of screws here just holding the side panels in. Take that one out. That one out. Got also one at the front on this side. One at the front on this side. Then what we're going to do is we're going to find a 10mm socket. Sometimes handy to have a full set of impacts. And this little impact driver is priceless. Out of all the tools I've got, if I lost something, this would be the one I would go out the same day and buy. When I say lost it, if I ran over it or it just stopped working. It is really priceless. And that's to secure the front of the bench seat. Might as well leave the 10mm bolts in there. And if you look at that, if you look at the bottom of it, you can see it's got under seal on it. Because obviously it just screws straight through the floor of the car to the underneath of the car. But the underneath of that is so well coated, everything under there is treated. Okay, so next thing we are, I think this next one's a 12, so I'm going to go get a 12. And this is the little swivel one that sits on there. Comes off, and this is a side one that fits into the side of the wheel arch, and the back seat sits on it and hinges with it. But it's always loose. It's got a little bearing in there, both sides. That's that one out. Pull the rubber out. So what we're going to do is, because we're going to drop the headline in, we're going to take all this out. All this out. It's pointless trying to leave it in. Had these before where we've simple enough to put back in, start at the bottom in the middle, find the middle at the top, but it's just got a little bit of dirt around there. Obviously we'll clean that before it. Everything gets a good clean before it goes back on now. Right, so this side panel, I'll come out of the way so you can see. We're going to take this one off. Whoever's had this, these can rattle a little bit. Whoever's had this has taken the trouble to put some little spacers in, just to keep them intact, stop them from being annoying. I wish that worked with people, but so what we're going to do is pull out there, and those just pull out this way. After that's pulled out, we've then got to, it's holding onto that, so we're going to pull it out this way. Okay. We've got it pretty much off there. So one more bolt to take out, which is 14, I'm sure it's a 14, and it's the bottom of the front seat belt. Now the trick to this is, hold it off that way, push it away from you so it stands up, and Bob's your uncle. It should be a little bit dusty. It's the first time it's ever been off in this country. No, it's not, it looks fine. Yeah, all it does is that end slips under, that end there slips under the panel that's in the doorstep. That slips under it, and then you lean it forward. This hooks around the edge of the door, and then all these locators pop back in. It's worth having a look to make sure they're all in. They don't normally come out, and then these last ones pull it all the way back, and they just pop in. So this one, remember, it comes out from the back to the front. Okay, so we're going to take both the seat belts off. Oh, you're not going to be able to see this really, but this little tool pops it straight off like that. These tools, you get them anywhere. They're so cheap or expensive. They're all pretty much the same. I've seen them for a few pounds up to £15 for a set. It all depends who buys them. It's who buys them and who resells them, but they've both got a little clip underneath. If you watch that, boom, it's off. And then we've got another bolt. So what we're going to do with this one, we're going to undo that and put it on the floor. That one, we're going to take the whole unit out. Are we? Yes, we are. Then with this one, this panel's got to come out. So same as with the lower half, going to pull the trim off. Pop it out 90 degrees there. One thing to try and do here is have clean hands. And again there, if you can see, starting at the front meant you pulled it outwards because they're all at 90 degrees to the body. The ones at the back point forwards, so they've got to come out last. You'll never pull them out first because you're pulling them sideways, and they need to come this way, but they can't come this way until all the others have popped out. Next thing, we have interior lights got to come out. The interior lights got to come out, so it's just a case of popping off the plastic. There you go. Leaves you 2 screws. Which will go straight to there. The better look like Buddha. Then comes out, pulls out just a little connector. Bane of my life are connectors. I can never remember how to fit in. But I do this every single time. Can't do it. There you go. That one. Just while we're here, instead of getting out, because it's not the comfiest in and out of here, is and this it also goes for the front as well. Somebody has put a little bit of something on there, but it's nothing. Nothing to worry about. Just going to put them there. And the last one to do, when I say last one, next one, you get this trim down and take this off. So that's both grab handles off. They are pretty much universal. You can put the back on the front, front on the back. You can put them upside down, makes no difference at all. Apart from if one's cleaner than the other, and then you can swap them round. Tell you what we have got on this one. That's a shame. Darcy, can you see that? Well, I just noticed that it's a little wooden block. I'll get my nose in there a little bit later to see if it smells, whether it's some sort of air freshener or it's just a little block. A little wooden block says relax on it, printed onto it, looks carved into it. Nice little touch. Lesson for everyone, relax. So, I think what we're gonna do is we are going to so we can have more space, we're going to take out the front seat. We're going to take that front seat out. We're more than likely going to take that front seat out as well. Yeah, I think it's time to do that right now. So we need this, we're going to need this, and I think again it's a 14, everything's a 14 when it comes to seatage. Seats again, if you've never done them, they come out in a particular way to the plastics. You can normally do them with your hand like that, so that pops out, the front two legs come upwards. This one can be a little bit of a mare, can pop straight off. This has all got to come out. This is why I'm taking the seat out. This has all got to come out so that, which is slightly painful, but it's got to be done, so that we can run a cable to the handbrake switch, so that when the handbrake switch is on, when the handbrake is on, it doesn't allow video. It's just so that to play a video on the head unit, you have to have the handbrake on. It's a safety feature, and to be honest, I do agree with it. Can't see why. Can't see why you would want to, unless you've got rear video for the children to keep them quiet, because it's always a bonus if you can keep the children quiet. So the two bolts at the front don't have any trim over them. They just undo. Straight out like that. We've got the under seat tray and the handbook for the Clarion Road Explorer SA30, SA 3.0, NX 714, NX 614. It's a really nice head unit, but it doesn't do everything that you would like it to do, in as much as it's not going to have, realistically, what you need is Android Auto. All you need is Android Auto and DAB. Everything on top of that, you will always get FM, but DAB and Android Auto is going to give you all your satellite navigation, your telephone integration, and your DAB is going to give you the multitude of stations that's available. FM, for whatever reason, if you want to put FM on, but the head unit's on, that's in it, is a really good one, but all the sat navs in Japanese. It talks to you in Japanese, it comes out in Japanese. I really wish I could get all the head units that I take out, put them in a box, send them to Japan, and just let somebody have use of them. I'm not even bothered about making any money from them. I just think it's such a shame that they're such decent quality units, and I've got no use for them whatsoever. So one thing that we're going to do now with the seat, now we've got all the four fastenings out, normally you'd be able to lift it straight out, but because it's a Japanese import and because it's got heated seats, we're going to have to take out the heated seat element connection. So the way I normally do it, I'll lean the seat back, get a trim removal tool, and I pop out the connector holder, and then it makes it easier to get the connection apart. We'll give the seats a little bit of a clean, we'll give the carpet a clean, give everything a clean, and then when it all goes in, it's been cleaned to such a deep level. And we're out, how about that? So, let's have a look what's going on. All sorts going on in here. Right, so next step, we're going to take out the glove compartment. Pop that out. We can get to the back of it because we're going to run cables down there. We're going to run the cable from here along the roof, along the roof lining, down the A-pillar, underneath there, and just makes it easier. And the way it comes out, it's a little bit of a, just sort of squeezes together. I'll show you now if you can see. Hopefully you can. I'll try and keep out the way. Piece of trim could come out. Which way around it is. Right, so all I'm messing about with here is there's a card reader. So we're disconnecting the cable from the inside of the glove compartment. If you can hear what I'm saying. Possibly not, possibly just there we go. That's it. All we've taken out there is the card reader, which is the ETC card, which is the electronic toll collection. Every car has these in Japan where they come to us. Makes life easier for them. It's no use whatsoever over here. Again, wish I could send them back, but no card in it. Oh. All that's left now is the A-pillar. I'm going to take the A-pillar out. It feels like it's been out a couple of times, which it has, because we've got some thick cable in here, which is from or for the speaker, which is underneath the seat. We've got a big bass speaker under the seat. It's coming around this way, down and down that way. Not sure why they didn't take it that way. It makes no difference, but it's just going to pull off because I can see it hanging off. We'll see if we can secure it a bit better when we do put it back on. Yeah, what it has. Yeah, so if you look at this, what it's got two little clips. Top and bottom just pops out. Problem is, it's only got one, and those clips sit on this white connector. The white connector pushes into the hole. So I've just it left that one in the hole. So I'm going to put that one in the top. So hopefully that's going to hold it at the top, get it a bit more firm. The bottom should hold itself a little bit better. There may be a clip that's fallen down somewhere. We'll have a look at that, but hopefully it should hold itself nice and secure if we swap the location. Right, so that's this left hand side all taken out. We're now going to take the right hand side out, and it might seem a little bit overkill and a bit laborious. The reason that's coming out is because what we need to do now is start to pull the headlining down. Because it's all connected over here, we really need the headlining to be at least accessible from here, which is starting to get very close to this side, and we don't want to put a crease in it. It means that side panel is going to come out, the upper side panel, both of the seat belts are going to come out, the grab handle with the nice little wooden thing on. At least we get a chance to clean it too. we will take the driver's seat out just to clean under there, because you know what I mean, it's pointless leaving that in, because sometimes it's just little bits around the carpet you cannot get to. You get it out, give it a really good clean, give the carpet a good clean, freshens everything up, but it just puts it back to where you want it to be. It's pointless doing that hole underneath, the hole outside, and missing little bits of the interior where you're going to spend most of your time. So with that, here we go. So once again, take anything out that's loose, and fingers under there. Can you see? No, you can't quite see, can you? But it's pull out this way. There you go. And it's as easy as that. With these, doesn't matter where you put them, in as much as they are unique. It's like stuff like that. That's just some dirt from behind where the seatbelt holders rotated. That'll come up like new. As much as it's painful to take all this off, it's like taking the front bumper off to do the front panel, everything. Yes, it's a pain. Yes, it's extra work, but in a way it's worth it, because it gets you right underneath everything. Where dirt, dust and everything, not so much dirt, but a lot of dust gets underneath. All the seat belts have got a certain sequence for the washers in, so you do need to have a look out for. If they don't retain all the washers, they've got to go back in the right order. And the correct order is solid washers. The nut goes on this side with a little sort of fibre washer behind it. On the back of it goes a spacer, a split washer, and one of these washers that holds onto the threads. Just for future reference, if they all fall off one of them, then make sure you see which order they are on another one of them, put them all back on, so they're all going back on in the right order. Real big fan of putting things in certain places in the order that you took them off. And I'll just show you this, because this is something we use. That is for, if you see that, that is for taking the bumper off, and every hole there corresponds to something that is a fixing for either underneath the bonnet or part of the bumper, all marked, because you can put everything into little tubs, and sometimes you end up with a lot of bolts which are slightly similar but not quite, and you think, well, is this and you know what I mean? Sometimes you put a bolt in and then you try to put another one in somewhere else. The original, the one you start to put in first goes in because it's shorter than it should be. The longer, then all of a sudden you've got a long one which won't go in, and then you have to find which one it is. Things like this make life so much easier when you're stripping stuff down. As we do it, take everything out, put them all in there, put this to one side, because it might be a couple of days before it goes back on. And unless you've got a memory of an elephant, I'm not saying I've got a memory of a goldfish, but it just makes life a lot easier. And then just the last grab handle out, and we're going to keep the block of wood in, because I personally I like to keep things like this. Do you know what I mean? Everything. So it's got, well, I don't know. It's got like a woody smell, but there you go, look. Thought for the day. Relax, that's going to go back in where it was, because I really do believe that everything that comes with it should go with it. Right, so that's the strip down of the interior. All the bottom panels, all the top panels. All that's left to do is to whip out, or when I say whip out, let's have a look. We're gonna drop the headlining. Now the headlining has been moved down at some point, because if you see that we've got a cable. That cable comes right from the front all the way. If you look, you see where the passenger door is there. It's drooped down there, comes all the way around, down there. Not quite sure why they've gone by this route, because it's a bit of a roundabout, because it goes from that side, then it goes to that side, down here. In fact, I've just answered my own question. That's why it's gone to this side, because it then goes to there, because that is a reversing camera. I'm hoping, I'm praying that that reversing camera is compatible with the head unit connector wise. If it's not, we'll try and find some connector. If it's not, we're not going to be able to get it working. I don't see why it shouldn't be. It's the pretty universal, pretty standard, but you never know. Just a little bit surprised at this. To me, it could have been routed better. To me, it could have been fastened down better. It's a bit droopy, a bit dangly. But because it goes this way, the headlining has been dropped a little bit. So we're going to take all the fasteners off with the fastener removal tool, and see if it's been taken down and any glue's been taken off it. So what you don't want to do here is don't want to mark the roof. So what we're going to do, sorry about that, what we're going to do is going to get the tool behind it, and then we're going to put the plastic tool behind that, just to give it something to push onto. That's got a bit of a bigger surface area, because it's just that's pulling out. 3 along the back. I think there's 2 in the middle. Yeah. So there's 1, 2, 3. 2 further down in the middle. Don't need to take any more out than that, but we certainly don't want to. I've probably had this for about 25 years, and it has taken thousands of connectors off with as little drama as possible. It just works really, really well. It's just a really good design. It's one of them where you see something, you think, oh, I'll have a go with that, and then you think, no, it's a bit rubbish. But not this one. However, let's have a look. Got that. Now the trick with this is right in the centre of the roof, we've got adhesive, and that adhesive, it's one of those where if you're nice and gentle with it, it starts to separate, and then it'll pop off. Got to be really careful, as I say, because if you pull, it's not like a connector that's going to pull out. It's got to just have gentle pressure, and you want to spread the pressure as much as possible. So we've had a little bit of a result there. It's started to come down. I don't know if you can hear. Oh, I don't know if you can hear that, but. Right, so that's really all we need to do. We've got it down enough because we're only going that far back. However, as we drill down, I'm going to use a step drill. In fact, I'll show you it if I've got it to hand. So this is what we're going to use for it. Step drill. I think that's marked from last time I used it to where I wanted to stop. And it's not like a drill bit where you in with the drill bit, in with different drill bit, different drill bit. It will go in, make it bigger, 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 and it will keep popping down. Super useful these. Again, not very expensive. Get a little kit like this. I don't know, maybe £12. But always good to have, because you can make holes bigger. A lot of the time what you'll do, you can swap and swap and swap and swap, but this will go up to like a 32mm hole, which is big. Normally the chuck on your drill bit is probably about 15, so it's gonna max out around about there, which is a big hole. That's a big hole. Anything bigger than that, you're talking bigger chucks. But this, because it will just fit into your drill bit, and Bob's your uncle. But yes, that's why don't really need to go any further down than there. What I normally do is, out of the packaging for the head unit, get the polystyrene, wedge the polystyrene under there, and it holds it away, because even though it's hanging down, as it comes down, if it touches that, it's going to drill a hole in it. And that, again, is something you don't want when you're trying to make a good job out of something.